Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. So, this video is going to be a little bit different. I decided to be a part of a Thrift Flip Thursday challenge, so I will be sharing with you all some really fun Goodwill makeovers. The first item I chose to give a makeover to was this like dinner bell decor type of piece. Honestly, I'm not really sure like what the exact name of this is, but to me it just reminds me of like, you know, dinner's ready, you guys, come and get it type of thing. So I really like that, and I knew I could definitely give it like a farmhouse makeover. So I started out by cleaning it up with some Dixie Belle White Lightning. It's just a really good cleaner, and it gets all the dirt, the grime, and all that stuff off of there. I just wanted a clean base to start with. I then removed the bell and put it aside and went in with my white Waverly chalk paint, and I gave the wood 2 coats of paint. I really wanted it to be like a nice full coverage because I had plans to sand it down and distress it a little bit, just, you know, to add to that farmhouse look that I was going for. So while I'm still painting here, I just want to elaborate a little bit more on the Thrift Flip Challenge guidelines. So this is a $10 and under challenge. You can use as many items as you want as long as the price comes to $10 or under. And I was lucky enough to be able to pick out 3 different items, and my total came to $9.97. My goal was definitely to just push the limit and maximize that $10 as much as I could. So I am really happy that I was able to pick out 3 different items. Alright, so anyways, after I was all finished with the paint, I went in with an 80 grit sandpaper and I just started distressing all of the edges, a little bit on the tops and the sides and whatnot, just to give it that, you know, distressed farmhouse feel. I chose to go in with an 80 grit sandpaper just because I wanted my distress marks to be a little bit more heavy and like more prominent. If I was going for a more subtle effect, I would have chosen a higher grit sandpaper, which is a finer grit, to make, you know, the distress marks not as vibrant and like bold. So once I was happy with the look of the distressing on the wood, it was time to work on the bell, and I just started by removing that leather strap on there, and I went in with this ink color from Waverly, which is like a matte black color. And in my mind in the beginning I was like, okay, you know, maybe like a modern farmhouse type of look, and I thought it was going to be really pretty, but honestly I did not like it one bit at all. So I had to switch directions and, you know, come up with a new plan. So I decided to go in with this copper colored spray paint. I gave the bell an all over coat of that copper color, and then I went in with a color called Celery from Waverly, and I just dipped my paintbrush into the paint, and then I used my finger to splatter it all around the bell, just all over, into just a very carefree pattern. My idea here was to give it a type of patina type of look. I did my best to just create a patina type of look. So I flicked the celery on, and then I used a sponge brush and went back in with that ink color and just kind of dabbed it all over. And I just kind of did this back and forth until, you know, I was happy with the look. And I think it turned out really, really cool, actually. It's just gives it more of an old, like, aged antique look. And like I said, I was really trying to give it like a patina. Once I was happy with the look of the bell, I went in with this faux leather ribbon from Dollar Tree and decided to make a new strap for this piece. I probably could have used the old one that was already on it, but it was all beat up and worn out. And I mean, it probably would have added to that, like, you know, vintage antique farmhouse look, but I decided to push my limits and make a new one for it. And I was really excited to use this faux leather ribbon from Dollar Tree for the first time. So anyways, I started by cutting a strap off, and then I just glued each of the sides in towards the middle. My reasoning for that, I was just trying to make it look leather all the way around. I didn't want to be able to see that light colored material in the back of it, so I wanted it to have that brown leather look all the way around and look more like a string, I guess, instead of being like super flat. So once all of the sides were glued together, I just needed to reattach the strap to the bell. And I did that just almost the exact same way that the old strap was attached to it. And then I just tied, a little knot at the bottom just to add to its character. Once that was all said and done, I just went ahead and attached the bell back to the wooden base. And honestly, it turned out so cute, just like this. So simple and so sweet, but I did want to take it like one step further, which you'll see here in a second. I just needed to add a sawtooth hanger on the back just so I can hang it up in my kitchen area. I then printed this little saying off of my Cricut, and yeah, I thought it was a super cute saying. It says, "Come and get it." You know, like I said in the beginning, it just reminds me of like a dinner bell, like, supper's ready, y'all. Y'all come and get it, you know? And absolutely love it. I feel like that little saying with the wreath just really brought it together. You know, it gives it like a modern feel, but with the way that the distressing is and the patina on the bell, it just has that like vintage aged look as well, like a vintage farmhouse look, and absolutely love it. It couldn't have turned out better. All right, on to the second item in its makeover. Super subtle and simple makeover, but I feel like it makes all the difference. I picked out this cute little mini petite pitcher. I'm assuming it's used for tea and such, maybe for a little bit of creamer or whatnot. But I went in with the the Wyverly. All right, you know what? I just decided to leave that part in there for you guys. Anyways, I gave it 2 coats of the white Waverly chalk paint. I just really like the gritty texture that the chalk paint gives it. And then I went in with the antique wax from Waverly, and I just kind of smushed that all over in just random areas, into the grooves and like on the handle, because it has some like ornate designs on there. I just wanted to make sure, you know, to get that antique wax in the groove so it stands out a little bit more. And I just smushed it around, went back over it with the white Waverly chalk paint and back with some wax, and back and forth until I was happy with it. And seriously, I love it so much. It's so cute. I love the like nitty gritty texture of it. It's almost got like a stone look or whatnot, but it has that, you know, antique farmhouse look, and I love it. I then kind of, you know, staged it with this little flower pick from Dollar Tree. This is for their spring line right now. Super cute. It has like lavender and just some like greenery to it. And, you know, that pink and purple just really come together and make it pop. I love it so much. Yay! On to the third and final project. I chose this little pig napkin holder. It was only $2.99, such a good deal. In the beginning, I did want to leave it as a napkin holder, and I was just kind of, you know, kind of like update it and bring it into the here and now. But I was like, you know what? I am gonna push the limits. I'm gonna take it one step further for sure. So I decided to take each of the little pigs apart away from the base, and I went in and sanded down the back just because I didn't want to get any splinters and, you know, all that good stuff. I then go in with the white Waverly chalk paint again, and I give them each just like an all over, not full coverage coat of paint. I just wanted to leave some of the natural wood coming through just a little bit. I then go in with the Waverly wax, and I use my little chippy brush and kind of just smush that into the cracks and crevices of the pig. I really wanted to outline the pig and just give him some more definition. I did this for 2 reasons. One, because the wax is going to help age the piece. It's going to give it that, you know, antique vintage feel. And then 2, it's going to help define the shape of the pig so you can see him clearly. So I did that. Like I said, I added it into the cracks and crevices, and then I took an old rag and just wiped it off just to get some of that excess away. And then I used my chippy brush to go back and forth, and then I added some more of the white Waverly chalk paint, a little bit of wax. You know, I've done this technique plenty of times, so it's just how I personally like to distress things, and I always feel like it turns out so pretty. I love it. Here you can see how those little guys turned out. So cute. I love them. Next, I went in with some of these hooks that I've had on hand for a while. I used to upcycle cabinet doors and turn them into like little coffee cup holders. So I've had these hooks on hand for a long time. But you can definitely order them from Amazon for fairly cheap. Find them at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, places like that. So I just kind of eyeballed where I wanted each of the hooks to go, and I used a marker to kind of map out where the holes needed to be. And then I took my drill and made each of those holes. I then went in with some wood glue, and my reasoning behind this was that I felt like it would give the screws some traction once it dried. to stay into place and not fall out, because I was originally going to use the screws that came with the hooks, but they ended up popping out through the back of the wood plaques. So I had to find some smaller screws to work with, and they were just kind of too small. So I was just worried that they were gonna just pop off randomly, and I did not want that to happen. So after that, I went in with this gingham ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I started by cutting 4 strands that were the same size in length, and then I just started making some really cute petite bows to go onto the hooks. I wanted to kind of disguise the hooks to not make them so prominent and like bold and in your face. I just wanted them to kind of, I don't know, be more subtle and, hidden a little bit more. So like I said, I went in and just made, 4 very basic bows. That way I can just glue them right onto each of the hooks. I kind of slowed this one down so you could see exactly what I was doing. But for the others, I just decided to do it off camera for you guys just to save a little bit of time. So once I was happy with the look of the bows, I just glued each of them on to each of the hooks. And then I ended by dovetailing each of the little tails. Dovetail the tails, right? So my second to last step for this project was to go ahead and add some of the sawtooth hangers, because I obviously wanted to be able to hang these up into my kitchen. And then I went and printed these cute little sayings off of my Cricut. One says Farmhouse and the other says Kitchen, Always Open, Self-Serve. Super cute. It just has that farmhouse feel, and I just really feel like it brings these to the next level. And that was that for these ones, you guys. So cute. Here is how they turned out. Absolutely adorable. I love them. Usually I cannot pick a favorite, but honestly, I am going to have to say, hands down, this one is probably my favorite. I just really love the fact that this was a napkin holder in the beginning, and I mean, looking at them now, you would just never even guess that this was a napkin holder, and that is what I love so much about this one. And honestly, just super farmhouse vibes. Love it, love it, love it. Well, anyways, it is time for the final walkthrough of all of the projects in this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed them. I really loved this challenge. I really tried to push myself to the limit as well, like as best as I could. I really, because sometimes you can just take something that you found at Goodwill and just give it a paint job and just call it a day, which I love doing that, don't get me wrong. That's exactly what I did with the little miniature vase and then the little dinner bell. But with the napkin holder, I just knew, I was like, I'm going to try to push my limits with this one and just kind of upcycle it and turn it into something new. And I really love that, finding things at Goodwill, you're able to do that. You're able to give it a paint job and bring it, back to life, or you can completely transform it into something else. So I actually had a lot of fun with this challenge, and I definitely think it is something I'm going to be doing from here on out. These challenges will be the second Thursday of every month, so if this is something you guys are looking forward to seeing from me, please, please, please let me know. Also, let me know what, other things you would like to see from me. Leave me a couple of comments down below. Give me a thumbs up. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.